T-minus 10, 9, 8,
The clock is
7.
operating. We're underway.
Tranquility Base here.
Endeavor, go at throttle.
Der Frühling ist da, die Sonne gewinnt an Kraft. Frühling steht für Leben. Blumen sprießen, Tiere erwachen und der Mensch bekommt Schmetterlinge im Bauch. Im Frühling werden die Tage länger, die Nächte kürzer. Doch wer legt fest, wann der Frühling beginnt? Was ist der meteorologische Frühling? Er beginnt auf der Nordhalbkugel immer am 1. März. Und diese Jahreszeit ist exakt 3 Monate lang. Genau wie Sommer, Herbst und Winter. Dieses Datum legt die Weltorganisation für Meteorologie fest, damit weltweit ein einheitliches jahreszeitliches Fenster vorherrscht. Dies hat ganz praktische Gründe. So ist es leichter, Wetterdaten statistisch zu erfassen und weltweit Klimaveränderungen zu vergleichen. Was ist der kalendarische Frühling? Der kalendarische, auch astronomische Frühling genannt, beginnt dieses Jahr am 20. März. An diesem Tag steht die Sonne direkt über dem Äquator. Bei uns ist Tag und Nacht dann gleich lang. Eine weitere Besonderheit am Äquator: die Sonne geht an diesem Tag genau im Osten auf und exakt im Westen unter. Der kalendarische Frühling endet am 21. Juni, der Sommersonnenwende. Er ist mit 16 Stunden der längste Tag des Jahres. Gibt es Frühlingsgefühle? Ja, sie gibt es. Durch den Sonnenschein nimmt unser Körper mehr Licht auf. Das Gehirn produziert dadurch vermehrt körpereigene Glückshormone, wie zum Beispiel das Serotonin. Wir sind leistungsfähiger und wirklich in jeder Beziehung aktiver.
Es da draußen noch andere Planeten, auf denen Leben möglich wäre, so wie unseres? Die NASA lässt jetzt nachschauen. Sie hat das Teleskop Kepler ins All geschossen. Es ist benannt nach dem deutschen Astronomen Johannes Kepler. Es soll ferne Sonnensysteme nach einer zweiten Erde absuchen. Kepler kann zwar nur einen Bruchteil der vermutlich 100 Milliarden Sterne erreichen, aber vielleicht hat die NASA ja Glück.
Aufbruch zur Planetenjagd. Eine unbemannte Rakete startet in Florida. Sie schießt das Teleskop Kepler ins All. Eine ehrgeizige Mission, die neue Welten entdecken soll. Die Kepler-Sonde trägt die stärkste Digitalkamera, die jemals ins Weltall befördert wurde. Kleinste Veränderungen in der Helligkeit der Sterne wird sie mit ihren 95 Megapixeln festhalten. Die Größe und Beschaffenheit von Planeten kann so bestimmt werden. 3,5 Jahre lang beobachtet Kepler die Planeten der Milchstraße. Gibt es eine zweite Erde? Mit der Kepler-Mission wollen wir die Frage beantworten, wie viele Planeten da draußen wie die Erde beschaffen sind, wie viele bewohnbar sind. Alle 350 Planeten, die Wissenschaftler bisher außerhalb unseres Sonnensystems entdeckt haben, sind zu heiß oder zu kalt, um Leben hervorzubringen. Das heißt aber gar nichts, glauben Astronomen. Wir wissen nur zu wenig und das soll mit Kepler anders werden. Wahrscheinlich gibt es sogar eine Menge Leben im Sternensystem. E.T. werden wir nicht finden, aber vielleicht E.T.s zu Hause. Die NASA freut sich über den erfolgreichen Beginn der Planetenjagd. Kepler ist auf Beobachtungsposten. Die Mission kann die Fantasie beflügeln, auch wenn die Chance, Außerirdische zu entdecken, eher klein ist.
NASA is conducting its most extensive mission to find planets in our galaxy which could harbour life. The Kepler telescope will orbit the Sun and observe more than 100,000 stars in the Milky Way in the hope of finding Earth-like planets. Our science correspondent Christine McGurty reports.
Engine start 1-0 and liftoff of the Delta II rocket with Kepler on a search for planets in some way like our own.
Heading into space to search for planets like our own. NASA's described this mission as historic. It's the start of a 3-year survey of distant stars. The big question, are we alone in the universe, or are there dozens of other planets out there that could harbour life? The robotic spacecraft carries just one key instrument, a sophisticated telescope. While orbiting the Sun, it'll study more than 100,000 stars. If their light gets dimmer, That could be evidence of an orbiting planet passing by and blocking the light. Many experts are convinced there must be Earth-like planets out there somewhere.
We've seen over 340 planets outside our own solar system, but all of those really are much larger than Earth. Only one is kind of about double the size of Earth. But this is the first time that we will be able to actually detect something which could be the size of the Earth at the right distance from its closest star. So it's a real first in that respect.
The spacecraft is unique, equipped with the largest camera ever launched into space. NASA hopes it'll find planets in the so-called Goldilocks zone. Neither too hot nor too cold, but just the right temperature for water to exist and life to evolve. Christine McGurty, BBC News.
In Genf findet derzeit eine UN-Abrüstungskonferenz statt.
Globale Zusammenarbeit unter dem Banner der Vereinten Nationen und weltweite Abrüstung. Dafür hat sich heute der russische Außenminister Sergei Lavrov ausgesprochen. Gestern Abend hatten er und Außenministerin Clinton in Genf einen Neuanfang in den russisch-amerikanischen Beziehungen verkündet. Die Probleme von heute seien nur gemeinsam zu bewältigen, so Lavrov vor der UN-Abrüstungskonferenz, und Russland sei dialogbereit. Zum ersten Mal nach dem Kalten Krieg ist nun der richtige Augenblick gekommen, um bei der globalen Abrüstung echte Fortschritte zu erzielen, so der russische Außenminister. Nicht einmal eine Panne konnte den Willen zur Annäherung gestern stören. Der Startknopf für neue Beziehungen war falsch beschriftet. Statt russisch Neustart hatte das amerikanische Außenministerium Arbeitsüberlastung geschrieben. Die Minister nahmen es mit Humor, viel Arbeit habe man nun ja auch vor sich, weil auch heikle Fragen nicht ausgespart würden, so Hillary Clinton. Wir brauchen mehr Vertrauen, mehr Berechenbarkeit und Fortschritt. Und das kommt nur durch Zusammenarbeit, auch bei schwierigen Themen wie Georgien oder der amerikanische Raketenschild. Seit die US-Regierung hier Verhandlungsbereitschaft signalisiert hat, ist auch der Weg zu einem neuen Startvertrag zur nuklearen Abrüstung frei. Wir beide glauben, dass wir einen neuen Startvertrag brauchen, und die Experten werden jetzt Vorschläge ausarbeiten, die unsere Präsidenten erörtern. Schon beim G20-Gipfel in London Anfang April sollen Barack Obama und Dmitri Medvedev zu Gesprächen zusammentreffen.
Erstes Treffen mit US-Außenministerin Clinton auf der UN-Konferenz in Genf nannte Lavrov sehr vielversprechend. Beide Länder wollen das Abkommen zur Atomwaffenabrüstung erneuern und außerdem alle Fragen zum geplanten US-Raketenabwehrschild partnerschaftlich klären.
All warm smiles and handshakes, but their two countries still have thousands of nuclear warheads aimed at each other.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Progress on disarmament has been stalled for years amid disagreements between Washington and Moscow over verification, anti-missile shields, and proposals to ban weapons in space. A treaty to reduce nuclear stockpiles runs out at the end of this year. Now Russia's foreign minister, sensing a new mood in Washington, says it's the perfect time to renegotiate it.
The right moment has come today for the first time after the end of the Cold War for making real progress in resuming the global disarmament process on a broad agenda. And I am convinced that we should not miss that opportunity.
We worked hard to get the right Russian word. Do you think we got it?
You get it wrong.
I got it wrong.
Russia and the US are agreed. They want a new treaty on arms reduction by year's end. But other, more divisive issues remain. Washington's plan for a missile defense shield in Eastern Europe. Moscow strongly objects to that. But both sides say they are committed to keeping on talking.
This is of the highest priority.
The next step, a meeting between President Barack Obama and President Dmitri Medvedev in London next month. Imogen Folks, BBC News, Geneva.
And finally, what's black and white and gray? The Times, the Post, and a pair of articles on the pressing subject of the president's hair.
People have been remarking that my gray hair is quite a bit more noticeable.
Especially people who work as reporters for two of the United States' most prominent newspapers. The headline on the front page of Thursday's New York Times, 44 days in the White House and the hair grayer already. And in the same day's Washington Post, Obama's other gray matter. A coincidence or a contest to claim a big story first? Both papers featured close-up photos of what you might call the first follicles, the cranium in chief, and both scored interviews with the presidential barber, who downplays the gray. For the Washington Press Corps, a good story on a quiet day, and for a president guiding a country through war and economic turmoil, what a difference a few weeks in the White House can make.
When I started this campaign, everybody called me a young man. But they're not calling me that anymore.
It's lonely at the top, and it can do terrible things to your hair.
In work. Very slow, slowly.
Standing by for the start of today's spacewalk, Mike Fink now in the process of opening up the hatch.
About 1 meter. Okay, just make sure nothing skips out. Yes, I keep watching. And the security, I also, I'm watching. Everything is fine. The hatch is opening nominally. Everything is fine. And, okay, terrific. The hatch is open. Copy. Hatch is open. Okay, guys, now you need to latch it. Okay, Yuri's working on it also. Sergey? I want to report that nothing escaped through the hatch opening. Okay, copy. Thank you. Good news. Hey, Misha, stand by. Yes, with security.
This is Mission Control Houston. The spacewalk now underway with the opening of the hatch to the Piers docking compartment. The spacewalk officers here in Mission Control reporting the opening of the hatch at 11:22 a.m. 11:22 a.m. Central Time, marking the official start of today's spacewalk, the 120th spacewalk in support of ISS assembly and maintenance.
It is fixed in place. Okay, copy. Make sure that the cord is not...
Once again, the spacewalk beginning officially at 11:22 a.m. Central Time. The spacewalk expected to last about 5 hours and 45 minutes in duration. Mike Fink will be first out of the hatch of the Piers docking compartment after he installs a protective ring around the hatch. He will be joined thereafter by Yuri Lonchakov. Again, Fink, now in his 6th spacewalk of his career, will be joined by Lonchakov, now embarking on the 2nd spacewalk of his career, as the two spacewalkers first take out a European materials exposure experiment called Expose-R, and then will make their way to the interface that you see between the Progress vehicle docked at the very top of your screen to the Piers docking compartment, where they will trim a series of 6 straps around just above where the Progress is docked to Piers to ensure that they don't flop around for future approaching Russian vehicles based on their thruster firings.
I'm attaching the hook. Okay, is the ring there secured? Yes. Okay, Michael, look around one more time, and you go to egress the hatch and step on EVA ad. Okay. As soon as Michael leaves the hatch and will position himself on the EVA, you go to activate sublimator. Is that you? Something is holding my back. No, that's not me. I'm behind you, but at safe distance. Okay, now. Misha, did you hook to control? Yes. Now on your right you have still camera, and this is probably something that you were feeling like holding your... Oh, okay, I moved it away. Now that's fine. All right. Yes, Misha, we can see you. Hi. Hello. Okay. And the mic will rotate and then go ahead, activate sublimators and report. Okay, stand by.
Misha, готов?
Misha, you ready? Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready too.
Включаем? Хорошо.
Okay, let's activate sublimators in work, lower position.
Давай. Есть.
Okay, yes. Stand by.
Sublimator моя включен.
My sublimator is on. Copy. Michael's sublimator is on. Okay, and Yuri, how about you? My sublimator is also on. Copy.
Так, положение 3.
Position 3.
Холодильня.
I actually made it halfway already, and I can feel sublimator working. Okay, good.
И готов. Так, сейчас мы все фиксируем.
Okay, I'm almost ready. Let me make sure I'm stable in this position, but there is no need to hurry. We have plenty of time. We stepped out just in time.
Так. Я готов тебе эксплозор давать. Хорошо. Начинаемся.
I'm ready to hand over the exposed R. We'll secure it using one hook.
Так. Сейчас поближе. Подойду.
Let me approach closer to you.
Так, все. Секунду.
Just a sec.
Есть одна, хорошо.
One is ready, done, good.
Двойник скафандр у меня 0,40. И так, это баллон, это 410.
The overland pressure is 0.40 and 410.
У меня 0,4 тоже.
Mine is also 0.4. Copy. Copy, Michael.
И корабль.
And the snap hook.
Так, есть, Миша?
Got it, Misha.
Спасибо, Юр.
Thank you, Yuri. Just a sec, I will help you. I will pull it out. Okay.
Держи, пожалуйста, средний.
Please hold it. Holding on. Excellent.
Вторая есть.
Yes, the second one is ready. Yes, we'll take it out carefully. Yes, we can see you taking out the EVA bundle.
Укладка до конца устройства. Хорошо.
Yes, to the end of the device. Okay, I'm already swapping.
I'm ready to egress. Yes. Got it attached.
This is Mission Control Houston, a good view of Expedition 18 Commander Mike Fink, who was first out of the hatch of the Piers docking compartment. You can see just behind some of the hardware for the Strela boom, the telescoping boom on the side of the Piers, Yuri Lonchikov, who is handing off to Fink the Expose R bundle, the European Materials Exposure Experiment, as the International Space Station enters an orbital sunrise over the Northwest Pacific Ocean at an altitude of some 220 miles, moving from northwest to southeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator.
Everything is nominal. I can see the target. Good. So this is the target. Yuri Michael. Go ahead. We have a request. How are you feeling? Do you think the sublimators are working fine? Yes. Nominal. Mine is also good. Thank you. Yeah. Feeling comfortable. Good. Please proceed. Okay.
Юрий, ну ты помнишь, мы начинаем перехода к антенне.
We will start with translation to the antenna site. Yes, that's what we're doing. The antenna is Antenna is close to your legs. Can you see?
Unlike previous Russian spacewalks last year and the one conducted by Fink and Lonchikov back in December, we will not have the use of helmet camera video today. The Russians declined the offer, saying it was not necessary for today's work, and because the crew would be operating for some portion of the spacewalk today near the aft end of the Zvezda service module, they would be out of range of wireless antenna capability to the antennas on the truss of the International Space Station that provides the wireless video. Fink and Lonchikov now are securing equipment to a pair of handrails before they begin work on the first task of today's spacewalk, shortening through the use of a pair of cutters, a series of 6 straps called Aramid straps in the area of 2 antennas at the forward end of the Progress resupply vehicle that is docked to the Piers docking compartment.
Наблюдаю две армидных ленты.
I can see 2 Aramid tape straps. Copy. Yeah.
Ты сзади, я тебя вижу.
I can see, Michael, that you are behind. Yes, I'm near you.
Так, снимал несколько кадров.
Okay. A few shots. You ready?
О, молодец. Сейчас.
Oh, you're done with it? Okay, good. Just a sec.
Чуть-чуть ближе, если возможно.
Closer, if possible. A little bit. Just a sec. Just a sec. Got it. Excellent.
Вторая лента.
And the second strap.
Lonchakov in the process of taking photographs of those straps. These are straps that are just above the docking interface between the Progress vehicle and the Piers docking compartment. They're actually on piers at the forward end near the docking target, and although they pose no interference issue, being prudent, the Russian flight control team wanted Fink and Lonchakov to use cutters to shorten those straps. There's too much play in those straps based on where they're tied down. So they'll be shortening them to a length of about 20 to 50 millimeters each. There are a series of 6 straps that they'll be cutting into a shorter length.
Yeah, I can see that.
Сейчас попробуй сам.
Could you try it yourself? Could you? Yes, just a sec. Just a sec. I'm holding. Holding? Affirmative. Just a sec. I have the cutter in my hand. Please hold. I will put it in. I'm standing here. Do not pull. Yes. This way. Like this. Yes, the second is done. Holding? I'm holding. Please hold.
Секундочку, если ты даешь мне...
Just a sec. If you give it to me this way, I will be holding it. Okay?
Это два там. Молодец, он и...
They're both there in the trash bag with no problem. The straps are in the trash bag. I can see that, and I'm putting back the cutter.
Это третий не так там, да? Только два. Здесь два.
So there's only 2, not 3. 2. Okay. I understand. Michael, you have 2 straps in the trash bag. Affirmative.
Надо было 2 ленты резать, но я вижу третью здесь.
We were to cut 2 straps, but I can see the third one. Leave it as is.
Но она правее туда, к поручню уходит.
And where is it? It is to the right-hand side, closer to the handrail. Let me cut it off. If it is not a problem, please cut it off.
A wider view of the Progress resupply vehicle docked to the Piers docking compartment. The crew is actually working behind and out of the field of view at the moment. You can see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, however, a view of the moon as the International Space Station is about to cross the equator, moving from northwest to southeast across the Pacific Ocean.
Так, Миш, за ноги меня немножко, ага?
Misha, yes, my legs.
Смотри, она рвется очень сильно, лента.
Look, it,
Можешь взять ее у меня?
well, it can be
Там еще кусок.
torn.
Ага.
Could you please take it?
Видишь?
Can you take it? Yes, I can. And there is
Сейчас.
another piece of it.
Сейчас есть.
Just a sec. Yeah, got it.
Да, я конец обрезал, да.
You could wait, please. I will.
In this view, you can see to the left of the Piers docking compartment of the Progress vehicle in shadow the Soyuz TMA-13 spacecraft docked to the nadir or earthward-facing port of the Zarya module, the first component of the International Space Station, launched back on November 20th, 1998. That Soyuz vehicle was the ticket to space for Mike Fink and Yuri Lonchakov back on October 12th of last year from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, and will be their ride home on April 7th for a landing in central Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I'm holding.
Their replacements, Expedition 19 and 20 Commander Gennady Padalka and Flight Engineer Mike Barrett, scheduled to be launched along with U.S. spaceflight participant Charles Simoni from Baikonur in just 2 weeks on March 26th on the Soyuz TMA-14 craft.
That is 3 straps. Actually, 4 of them, 2 of 4 are in the trash bag. But I can see that everything is clean there now. That zone is clean. And I think we're ready for the next ops. Before leaving the zone, you please take the picture of MLI.
And making
No problem, will do.
Making no delay in their work, Fink and Lonchakov now have completed the cutting of those 6 fasteners or straps, the Aramid straps as they are called, at the very structural interface between the Progress vehicle and the Piers docking compartment. With that complete, a few closeout photos are being taken before they translate make their way over with the Expose Our Materials exposure experiment to the outside of the hull on the port side of the Zvezda service module to begin the work on its installation.
All right.
Open trash bag, пожалуйста, открывает, пожалуйста, чуть-чуть.
Please open the trash bag. I'm ready. It would be better this way. I'm holding.
Давай лучше его поставлю, наверное.
Let me put it this way. Yes, it's better this way.
Как он так открылся-то, непонятно.
Oh, well, it got opened. I don't know how.
A good view as the International Space Station crosses the equator as Mike Fink in the red stripes, EV2, or extravehicular crew member number 2, works on a few closeout photos and to secure a trash bag where the extra length of those 6 straps that he and Lonchakov just shortened are being secured. That trash bag will be put back inside the Piers airlock and tied down to ensure that it doesn't inadvertently float away.
All right. Got it. And latched. Opening.
Я даю первый. Здесь первый Юр.
This is the first one? Yes, just a sec, Misha. Yuri.
Да. Там у нас 2 сюжета фотографирования предусмотрены.
You will have to perform 2 sessions of picture taking. There should be 2 nozzles near MLA. Misha, press it with your finger. Just a sec.
Да пока не готовы, Сергей, извини.
Not ready yet, Sergey.
Засунул.
Copy.
Правильно. Все. Отлично.
That's it. Okay, excellent. It is inside. Excellent. Good for you. Yes, Sergey, we're ready. Yes, I'm ready to take pictures if you, Yuri, translate to the next zone. Yes, please do. Yuri, you translate the target. Maybe I will translate along these handrails. The ones that are near the docking assembly. Yes. Below the antenna. Yes, like this. Yes, closer to the progress. Okay. Understood. Okay, we'll do it this way. Michael. Go ahead. Where Yuri is, there should be handles. If you can see those nozzles, nozzle O and nozzle G, if you can see them, please tell me. MMZ, I can see MMZ very well. Maybe it will be easier for me to take the pictures. Oh yes, if you can see them, just a sec, I'll take a better look, another look. Michael, and you can take picture of Yuri now.
With the Aramid straps having been cut, Fink and Lonchakov are now beginning in sequential fashion to take two of the higher priority photographs as part of what is called the panorama experiment. This essentially is detailed engineering photography requested by the Russian flight control team to inspect the condition of the Zvezda service module and other areas of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Zvezda has been in orbit almost 9 years. The Pirs docking compartment has been in orbit almost 8 years, and the Russian engineers are interested in conducting a detailed analysis of the wear and tear on the Russian segment systems, things such as handrails, antennas, thrusters, and things of that sort. The first two photographs being captured by Fink and Lonchakov are of a fuel purge fitting and an oxidizer purge fitting on the Pirs docking compartment near a series of handrails in the area in which Fink on the right and Lonchakov to the top of your screen are working at the moment.
Michael, and could you please take photos of the areas with removed straps? Yes, I've taken 6 pictures. I made 6 shots. Copy. Yes, and you will see what has been done. Okay, good. Thank you. And I'm looking for those nozzles. I can't see them. Well, if you can't see them, take picture of this area. It is below on the docking assembly. Take a few pictures there, please. Will do. If I have to translate down there.
Today's spacewalk again coming on the eve of the scheduled launch of the shuttle Discovery from the Kennedy Space Center, launch scheduled at 8:20 and 10 seconds p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. Docking to the International Space Station scheduled just before 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Friday afternoon.
Pressure point.
That would set the stage for another series of spacewalks, this time out of the U.S. Quest airlock by Discovery's astronauts Steve Swanson, Ricky Arnold, and Joe Acaba. The first of those spacewalks by Swanson and Arnold scheduled for Sunday.
Yuri, you are at the target, aren't you? Yes, almost there. There's a view of Yuri Lonchakov wearing the suit bearing the blue stripes as he continues his inspection and photographic documentation of the area at the docking interface between the Progress 32 cargo craft that arrived a few weeks ago with food, fuel, and supplies for the expedition crew. The Progress, of course, docked to the Piers docking compartment. I can see that nearby, docked to the Zarya module, is the Soyuz TMA-13 craft and the new Soyuz spacecraft poised for launch in 2 weeks with the Expedition 19 crew and U.S. spaceflight participant Charles Simoni from Baikonur. That will dock to the aft docking port of the Zvezda service module. Just playing. Yeah, please attach it and translate to Yuri. Yes, I've attached it. The long Yuri is something specific for me. Of course. It's your best friend. I'm in the area, designated area, ready to cut. Please wait for Misha so that he could take the straps. Okay, Misha, I'm waiting for you. Thank you. And maybe I'll take some pictures. It's interesting. I can see 3 straps here. Yes, biorisk is well installed. Okay. Good. Be careful. Progress antenna is behind you. Yes. Well, they are in the vicinity of the docking interface between Progress and Piers. Fink and Lonchakov are also taking an opportunity to resecure one of the cables associated with a device called the Langmuir probe that Fink and Lonchakov installed back in their spacewalk in December. That Langmuir probe on the Russian segment of the station, measuring electrical potential in and around critical systems on the Russian segment of the station as part of the mitigating work being done to reduce the effect of what the Russians believe was the most likely cause of a problem with the separation of Soyuz modules during their entries back in October of 2007 and again in April of last year that caused 2 consecutive ballistic entries, steeper than expected entries of the Soyuz vehicles that the Russians most probably attributed to electromagnetic interference on pyro bolts associated with the separation mechanisms for the instrumentation and propulsion module and the descent module or crew cabin of the Soyuz return vehicles. The Langmuir probe has been working just fine. Lonchakov taking an opportunity to resecure one of the cables, basically wire tying it down so it's a bit more tightly secured near the docking end of the Piers docking compartment. Again, this spacewalk coming on the eve of the scheduled launch of Discovery from the Kennedy Space Center, which will set the stage for 4 spacewalks by Discovery's astronauts during 10 days of docked operations between the STS-119 crew and the crew on board the International Space Station. On Friday evening, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Koichi Wakata will mark history for Japan as he swaps places with Expedition 18 flight engineer Sandy Magnus, joining the expedition crew as the first long-duration Japanese astronaut on board the International Space Station. Magnus, who was launched to the station back in November on the shuttle Endeavour on the STS-126 mission, will become an STS-119 crew member, headed home for her landing back at the Kennedy Space Center on March 25th. I'm starting the translation. Take your time. Yes, I can see you now. Yeah, I can see your legs and I can see you too. Michael, be careful with your legs. Progress. Yeah, I can see that. Sergey, can you read me? Yes, I'm affirmative. I'm holding the strap, but it's not that good. And the threads are separating. I even do not need the cut to use the cutter. Plus, be careful not to make any holes in MLI. You know, I didn't even pull it. Okay, good.
The progress that Fink on the right and Lonchakov on the left are working around will be undocked from the Piers docking compartment in early May to be replaced by another Progress resupply vehicle, the Progress 33, that will be launched the first week in May for a docking to the station in advance of the arrival of the Expedition 20 crew, Roman Romanenko of the Russian Federal Space Agency, Bob Thirsk of the Canadian Space Agency, and Frank DeWinna of the European Space Agency, who will mark history in of themselves on May 29th with their docking to the station to commence and inaugurate the era of the 6-person crew on board the outpost.
Opening. Yeah. Press it here with your finger. Just a sec. Yes, we need 3 hands each. Yeah. Are you holding? Yes. The trash bag and the strap. Yes, I need to be closer here. Sorry, just a sec.
We're going to cut it, and then we're going to put it all together. Okay, I'm going to move away a little bit. We have enough space. I'm going. If I move my foot right this way, would you be able to hold it? That's great. Be careful over there. Okay. I don't know, is it a cap? Are we going to secure it? Okay. Okay, I'm ready to cut. I would like to hold it for you, 1 by 1. I see that.
Молодец. Есть. Так. Сейчас держу.
You holding it? Okay, I'm going to help you. Great. Let me get the cutter.
На всякий случай.
I'm going to cover the cutter just in case. Okay, Sergey, we're moving slowly. That's the correct way.
Now let's put it in. Be careful. Yes, I see the target. Okay, hold on. Hold it. Do not let go. Are you holding it? Yes, I am. Okay, good. 1 second.
Отлично. Я закончил. Есть там.
That's great. I'm done there.
Следующее.
Next.
Без проблем. Так, беру резак.
No problem. I'm taking the cutter.
Так, еще немножко, Миш. Ага, сейчас.
Just a little bit more. Michael.
Нитки трухлявые.
Okay, that is not a button. Okay, let me position myself well.
Так, сейчас, Миш, подожди. Можешь этот маленький взять?
Can you take this small one?
Сейчас я тебя возьму.
The little one.
Подожди. Надо, чтобы не...
Hold on. Need to make sure nothing flies away.
Еще чуть-чуть.
A little bit more. This way.
Чуть-чуть придержи его. Я сейчас засуну резак.
Hold it slightly.
И засуну, потом тебе... Мне 3 маленькие части, но...
I have 3 small parts. No problem.
Сейчас, Миша.
Hold on, Michael.
Ну, по-моему, надо наложить на...
I think we need to put it in the trash bag and take photographs, and that's all. Okay, I'm going to put the cutter.
Так, есть. Есть, Миш? Хорошо.
Okay, got it, Michael? That's good.
Этот часть.
If you're holding that part, yes, I am holding that.
Открываю все.
Okay, I'm opening it.
Отлично.
That's great.
Совсем не могу. Ниже.
Sorry, cannot hold it lower.
Так, надо немножко ближе.
A little bit closer.
Я тоже.
I'm going to move closer, okay? I'm going to move too.
Отлично. Раз.
That's great.
Два. Следующий сейчас это маленькая. Сейчас сюда.
Next to the small one. Careful.
Давай. Есть.
Go ahead. Got it.
Есть там.
Yes, got it there.
Молодец. Так, давай.
Good job.
Тебе есть, да? Стоп, держи.
Good job, you got it.
Тебе
Hold it.
есть.
Hold it.
Все есть.
Yes, I got it.
Прекрасно, взаимно.
That's great.
Доклад.
Likewise.
Не потерял ничего.
I am reporting we didn't lose anything. We need to take pictures. Michael, we copy that. We got it. Thank you very much for a job done well and cleanly. Let's take photographs and let us translate along the path that Michael used to get here. Yes, right now it is preferable to use it. Michael is going to translate first, and you're going to move going, Michael, and then we're going to proceed for the nominal plan with Exposar.
Сейчас мы сфотографируем.
We're going to take pictures now.
Да, сфотографируйте. Заодно можешь Юра и Майкл сфотографировать. Майкл, тебя.
You can take the pictures of Michael, Yuri, and Michael, you can take a picture of Yuri.
This is Mission Control Houston, 45 minutes into today's spacewalk that got underway at 11:22 a.m. Central Time. You're looking at Mike Fink on the right side of your screen, Yuri Lonchakov at the top of your screen wearing the Orlan or Russian spacesuit with the blue stripes, Fink with the red stripes. Well into the second spacewalk of their increment, the sixth for Mike Fink's career, the second for Lonchakov, as they wrap up work with the removal or the shortening of a half dozen straps right around the docking interface between the Progress resupply vehicle at the top of your screen, the Progress 32, and the Piers docking compartment. The Piers serves a dual purpose, both as a docking port for arriving Russian vehicles and an airlock for Russian segment spacewalks. Fink and Lonchakov, once they clean up the work site, will move on to the side of the Zvezda service module to begin what is expected to be about an hour-and-a-half long task to install and activate a European materials exposure experiment called Expose-R that they attempted to install and activate back in their previous spacewalk on December 22nd and 23rd, but a cabling problem inside the Russian segment of the space station prevented the experiment from being activated. The cables were reconfigured once Expose was brought back inside the station for troubleshooting by Lonchakov. It is expected to work like a charm this time, this being the major objective of today's spacewalk for Lonchakov and Fink, a spacewalk expected to last somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, Michael. Need to be very careful with antennas. We see the device. Copy, Michael. Good. I tried to take another photograph of the area. I'll try to take another one. Well, let's wrap it up. Yes, you can take another one for 1.5 minutes. Don't rush, and then we can start translating afterwards. Okay. I'm going to put the camera back in.
Michael, ты уже дошел, да, до люка?
Michael, did you already get to the hatch? Yes, I'm next to the device. I'm next to the EVA letter. Copy. And stay there and wait for Yuri to join you. Exactly so. Hi, Yuri, how are you?
Yes, L.
Intelligible, that's good. I am near the EV letter.
Tiki Ocean. Tiki Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean.
Окей, Серега, это примите, что я принесу этот экспозер. Экспозер сам, осмотр, все нормально.
Exposure, inspection, everything looks normal. I am going to use the transfer umbilical. One is going to be heart mounted. The other is going to be attached to the handrail. Everything is correct, Michael. Yuri is going to put the cutter into DC, and then you can translate together. Yes, together is better. Yuri, don't rush. Everything is nominal. We are proceeding for the plan. We don't even have any trend of being late. Everything is normal. I am not rushing. Everything is normal.
"52 minutes into the spacewalk, Fink and Lonchikov right on the timeline. The spacewalk having begun at 11:22 a.m. Central Time. The crew now complete with the shortening of a series of a half dozen straps, fasteners, right around the docking interface between the Piers docking compartment and the Progress resupply craft that you see in your view, about to begin to make their way with the EXPOSE-R, the European Materials Exposure Experiment, down to the side of the hull of the Zvezda service module to begin its installation and its electrical cable connection work that will enable them to activate that experiment. It was scheduled to be installed last December, but an internal cabling problem prevented it from operating normally. That problem has since been corrected, and the expectation today is that everything will go as planned. One note, internet visitors can now see the Earth live from the International Space Station via streaming video 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That streaming video view of the Earth and the exterior structure of the International Space Station from cameras mounted outside the complex as it orbits the Earth at 5 miles per second at an altitude of 220 miles. The internet now available with streaming video of the exterior of the International Space Station 24 hours a day. Actually, that video will primarily be seen from between about a 12-hour period while the crew is in its pre-sleep and sleep period, from about 1 p.m. Central Time to 1 a.m. Central Time. When the live feeds are not available, a map showing the current location and ground track of the station will be streamed from NASA's Mission Control here in Houston. So streaming video of the Earth from the International Space Station cameras and exterior views of the station now available on the internet at www.nasa.gov/station.
I'm going to take the cutter off. Go ahead, Yuri.
Так, есть. Миш, ты куда пошел-то? Куда торопишься?
Michael, where are you going? Where are you rushing? I'm here. I'm near the EV letter. I can take photographs from here, and the Windows number 8, number 6. Okay, Michael, but don't go further away. This way is fine, but don't go alone any further than that. Okay, that's fine. There is a space for Yuri on the AV ladder. Okay, copy.
Так, есть такое дело. Так, сейчас я закреплю ред.
Okay, I'm going to secure red.
Yuri Lanchikov completing the stowage of the cutters that were used to shorten these series of 6 straps along the Progress Piers docking interface. Those were shortened and are now secured, no longer an issue for flopping around for the thruster firings from approaching Russian vehicles to the Piers docking compartment. With that work out of the way, Lanchikov will soon be joining Mike Fink, who's at the lower right-hand side of your screen, along the hull at the forward end of the large diameter section, as it's called, of the Zvezda service module to begin work to install the European Expose experiment, the series of organic and biological materials that include spores, microbes, bacteria, amino acids, experiments that will test plant seeds as a terrestrial model for how those plant seeds might grow in the environment of space, and how the solar radiation that is emitted in space can cause photochemical alterations to certain organic materials.
I copy.
Нехорошо лежит.
И рядом с ней там иллюминатор, да, Майкл?
And next to it there is a window, right, Michael? Yes.
Да.
Simultaneously?
И седьмого чуть-чуть.
Снимай их тоже.
Yes, take photographs of those as well.
Так, солнышко светит.
Yes, the sun is out again.
Юр, готов переходить?
Yuri, are you ready to translate? Yes, that's it. I am ready.
The International Space Station flying 220 miles over the South Atlantic, about to cross the west coast of Africa, moving from southwest to northeast, and then soon to cross the equator and over the Sahara Desert. While Fink and Lanchikov work outside the Russian segment of the station, inside the U.S. segment of the International Space Station, Sandy Magnus continues her day's worth of activities as she is collecting water samples from the Total Organic Carbon Analyzer, part of the new environmental systems delivered on the flight that also delivered her to the station, STS-126, back in November. She is also working on the packing of equipment to be returned aboard the shuttle Discovery that will also bring her home.
Stopping and
after her 4 months in orbit. Magnus on Friday night will swap places with Japanese astronaut Koichi Wakata, who will become the first space station resident from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency as Wakata begins about 4 months of work on board the station, 3.5 months or so. Magnus will be coming home on the shuttle Discovery when it lands at the Kennedy Space Center on March 25th, assuming a launch tomorrow night.
Those two scenes you can cross out.
Russian flight controllers now in the process of disabling thrusters on the Zvezda service module as Fink and Lanchikov begin to make their way to the various work sites that they will be conducting most of the rest of the day's work. The installation of that Expose R experiment, the European Materials Exposure Experiment, and then setting out for the nuts and bolts of quite a bit of detailed photography of key systems, thrusters, handrails, antennas, rendezvous mechanisms, vent ports, and other connector plates around the prioritized locations on the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Next to the SM cone. Do you see that? Yes, we see that. Translate to the work site now. Okay, we're translating.
Наш шел видно.
Do you see us?
Очень хорошо.
Yes, we see you very well. So let's proceed with the operation.
Так, Миш, ты как? Отлично.
How are you, Michael? Great.
Сейчас я умею делать это очень медленно, но делаем все правильно.
Very slow now, but correctly.
Очень строго.
Very accurately.
Так. Вижу тебе. Сейчас я тебя сфотографирую. Окей?
I am going to take photographs of you now. I vote for it. We vote for it, okay.
Сейчас, секундочку, сейчас я с
Just a second.
экспозером снимал, да?
Did you take a picture? Yes, I did. Would like to take another one.
У нас также было, когда Сергей с Олегом работали.
The same thing was Sergey and Oleg were working. One EVA, there were no photographs, but during the other EVA, there were plenty. They had fun and took a lot of pictures. Same here with you guys.
Так. Все, взаимно. Спасибо.
Okay, that's it. Likewise, thank you.
Так.
Okay, Michael.
Ребят, у нас 5 минут до тени.
Guys, we have 5 minutes until the eclipse. We would like you to put this translation to the work site. We're here already. Over these several minutes. Okay, copy, Michael. Good. We're going to have an LOS for 2 minutes. In 3 minutes, we're going to have a 2-minute LOS. We're going to be off the communication. Then when the comm resumes, we're going to be talking to you. But that's going to be an eclipse, as we have agreed. During the eclipse, we're taking a break.
Хорошо, договаривались, значит, отдыхаем.
Okay, since we agreed, we're going to take a break. The only request, Yuri, you can do the mechanical mating. You can do the mechanical installation part and then take a break. Okay, I approve.
Good. That's correct. That's right to do. That's a deal then.
In this view, you see the folded solar panels of the Zarya module of the International Space Station no longer needed. The Russian segment receiving enough power from a combination of the Zvezda service module arrays as well as the U.S. electrical system and the U.S. solar arrays, which will be augmented this weekend with the installation of the S6 truss on the first spacewalk to be conducted by Steve Swanson and Ricky Arnold on Sunday afternoon. The arrays then will be unfurled on a subsequent flight day to complete the U.S. solar array complement for the International Space Station. These solar panels that you see folded up accordion style on Zarya are no longer needed. They were folded up to permit the radiators on the truss of the International Space Station to be properly deployed on either side, both on the port and starboard side, to provide the proper heat dissipation capability for the avionics in the truss of the International Space Station.
Миш, классные кадры. Ты на фоне земли сейчас здорово.
Good shots.
Отлично. Спасибо.
You're
Вот такой красивый.
on the background of the earth
Хорошо.
and the beautiful sunrise.
Вот так вот, вот так вот.
Very good. And a bit higher. Yeah, this way. Good now. It's wow.
Мы тут получаем картинку, видим вас, ребят.
Yeah. We can see you now, guys.
Отлично.
Good.
Ну, здесь это много видно, я снимал. Много.
And I'm taking a lot of pictures. Very good, Michael.
Чуть левее.
And could you please tell me, to the left of you?
Есть дренажный клапан такой напротив поручня 26-15.
There's a vent valve,
26-15.
depressed valve, on close to 2615 handrail.
Далеко от этого места.
Yuri is far away from it. There's 2640, 45, 44.
Вот 27-11 поручень видишь?
And can you see 2711?
Если смотреть на мишень видеометра,
You look at the videometer target. Yeah, I can see it.
туда дальше, в сторону Юры,
Further down towards Yuri,
есть поручень 27-11.
there's a handrail 2711. I can see 2712, 2714.
И дальше, от 27-12.
Copy. And there's 2712 handrail. And there's 2711 handrail. I can see 14, 12, 14, 13. I can see 15. Copy. If you've taken a picture of the whole area, yeah, I've taken a lot of pictures. Okay, I'll take some more. Then you can translate to handrail. Yuri, how's it going?
Нормально.
Just fine. I'm taking pictures. Have you taken any pictures? Ah, yeah, taking pictures. Please report when you're done.
Майкл, если закончил съемки, тогда перемещайся.
Michael, if you're done with the photography activities, translate to handrail 2646. Yeah, I can see 2646. Just a sec. I will. I think I've taken a lot of pictures. They're very good for the panorama. Very good, Michael. I have a request. Try to translate to handrail 26, 13, 14, 15, thirds, Yuri, affirmative. Okay.
45 и потом начинается 13.
Oh, 45, I can see 13. Good. Well, I've taken this area, the area where this handrail is, copy Yuri. Let's proceed. Translate handrail 2531 and stop there.
Хорошо, Серега, я на улице 2613.
I'm on 2613
Command.
and ready for you to go. Please translate to handrails 2614 and 2615, 14 and 15. And I can see the, well, and there's the thruster nearby. I can see that copy. Yes, and I've taken a lot of pictures from here, panoramic pictures, and I'm translating further down. Yes, please go down to 2631.
Yeah.
Michael.
614 2615. Yes, здесь.
I am here in the area of handrails 2614 and 15. And Michael, and did you activate the pumps? No, not yet. I can do. Yes. Yes, I've activated it now. I can feel that. Good. And switch over to 0 or 1. Yes, 0. Michael. Go ahead. Is everything fine with the pump? Yes, everything is fine. Yes, it is on. I can hear it and I feel it. Okay, good.
Майкл, вот с поручня 2615 ты поручень 2711 видишь?
From 2615 handrail. Can you see handrail 2711? Just a sec, I'll take a look.
Там отдельная ручка стоит.
There's a standalone hand.
Ручка стоит там. И это как, да.
Yeah, I can see it.
На балке она стоит.
Handle. Yes, I can see it.
Снимаем.
You want to take pictures? You want us to take pictures? Yes, take picture of this handrail area.
Прямо по направляющей в сторону торца, не торца, а бичайки. Не к стыковочному агрегату, а ближе к тебе.
And closer to yourself, not to the docking compartment, but closer to yourself. There should be depress oxidizer nozzle. Yes, I can see it. Please take picture of it. In back. Okay, copy will do.
Снимал. Так. И зона двигателя. Так, 26.
And
Зона двигателя, можешь ее снять тоже.
The thruster area. Do you want me to take pictures of it? Yes, please do. That is the orbital maneuvering engine.
Принято, Майкл. Можешь возвращаться на
Back.
поручни агрегатного отсека 2646.
Michael, you have to go back to handrail 2646.
Видеометр смещен. Сейчас я могу.
All right. And I can take a good picture of the videometer target. Okay, if there is a possibility, please take it.
Снял я зону двигателя.
I've taken picture of the engine area, and I'm proceeding.
I'm still off on one.
Yuri, where are you?
2631.
2631.
Здесь остановись.
Please stop here.
Хорошо.
Copy.
Юр, вот посмотри, значит, что нас интересует.
Yuri.
Там дальше радиолюбительская антенна.
Further down there's
Между двигателями
the ham radio antenna.
практически посередке
And right in the middle of the handrail. Well, I passed it.
Антенну прошел, правильно?
Well, the antenna is behind you now. You passed it. Affirmative.
Немножко поверни. Ты же сейчас смотришь на двигатели.
You're looking at the engines now. I can see the antenna SM12. Oh, in C12. That was Yes, it is ASN. If you can, please take a couple of shots, and then we'll proceed. Okay, I'll try to.
Майкл видит тебя.
Отлично.
Michael, we can see you. It's great. You can take a break now.
Принято буду.
Copy, we will.
Это видно было, да?
Did you see that?
Сейчас мы тебя наблюдаем, да. Вот.
Yes, we can see you now. Oh, good job.
Так, ну что, я, наверное, пошел дальше, Сереж.
Okay, then shall I move on? No, you shouldn't be moving further ahead.
Теперь ты разворачиваешься в сторону радиолюбительского.
Turn towards the ham radio antenna. Okay. And now look along the structure, just 631 handrail, and the direction of the big diameter, there is a stripe. We understand that is a crack. Yes, I see that. First of all, we need your running voice commentary of what you're seeing. Okay, I'm going to tell you now. Handrail 2631, the very beginning. Handrail. The cover, thin has separated, and underneath there is a brown fabric. There is brown fabric, a brown material that looks like plastic. Textilite type fabric material. So this thin cover is separated slightly. By about 1.5 meters or so. What is the width? The gap runs up to about 40 centimeters. Then it looks normal, and then there is a crack propagating further. I'm going to try to take pictures, Sergey. It is very important for us. Could you try to take as many pictures as possible? And we need your comments on something else. After you're done taking photographs, let us know. We'll ask you more questions.
Так, снял.
Okay, I took the pictures. Copy, Yuri. Now, could you tell me from your point of view, if right now, if you put your gloves in there, do you think you can damage your gloves? Is the edge sharp? Is it a hazard? I'm taking it carefully with my gloves. It does not look sharp. Better not take it with your gloves. No, we need to be careful. The material is based on tinfoil, metal based. I think there is a 1 millimeter stainless steel layer. Yes, stainless steel, I think. Well, I don't think it's desirable to put fingers in there. Okay, Yuri, then in no way touch it with your hands. Do not touch with hands. Well, I was peeling it back to take a look. Okay, understand. Right now, Yuri, can you take a look in the area of the ISN antenna? Do you see anything similar? Sergey, I would like to take more pictures. In a minute. I'm taking pictures along the entire length. Okay, I took pictures along the entire length. Copy, Yuri. Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. We've momentarily lost our communications. Now it's back through the S-band communication system on the International Space Station. The station and its crew flying over the South Pacific at an altitude of 220 miles, 3 hours, 43 minutes into today's spacewalk by Mike Fink and Yuri Lonchikov as they continue to provide detailed photography, capturing hundreds of pictures of 28 targets along the Russian segment of the International Space Station, handrails, docking targets, coolant vents, navigational antennas, thrusters, radiator panels, and other high-priority targets of interest for Russian flight controllers who are in the process of gathering by Fink and Lonchikov a detailed imagery suite of photography of the contemporary condition of the Russian service module Zvezda and other areas along the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Go ahead and take pictures.
Now back with downlink television from the International Space Station as you look at the Russian segment of the complex.
Copy, Yuri. Now start translating. But don't rush, Yuri. Take it slow. It's time to go home. It is 3:45.
A good view of Expedition 18 Commander Mike Fink at the aft end of the Zvezda service module. Yuri Lonchikov being told in a joking fashion by Russian flight controllers that it's time to come home, meaning that the work for the day is nearly complete. The crew running more than an hour ahead of its published timeline in an EVA or a spacewalk that was scheduled to last some 5 hours and 45 minutes today. The crew, barring some unforeseen developments, should be back in the Piers airlock well ahead of schedule.
Copy.
The crew
Michael, which way is better?
left the Piers airlock shortly after opening the hatch to begin today's spacewalk at 11:22 a.m. Central Time. They quickly went to work setting up their tools and other hardware outside of Piers. They used a knife to cut a half-dozen straps called aramid straps along the circumference of the docking interface between the Progress 32 resupply vehicle and the Piers docking compartment to which it is linked. Those straps had been observed flapping in the breeze, as it were, from the most recent arrival of the Progress resupply vehicle from thruster firings, and although they posed no safety issue for a safe docking of the Progress or subsequent Soyuz or Progress vehicles that will arrive at Piers, the straps were too long, and it was felt by the Russian flight control team as one of the tasks for this spacewalk that the straps could be cut to a length of about 20 to 50 millimeters in length and tied down. So that was quickly accomplished by Fink and Lonchakov and will pose no further issue for future spacewalks outside the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Fink and Lonchakov then pressed ahead to install a European materials exposure experiment called Expose-R. It was an experiment that Lonchakov attempted to install back in December when he and Fink left the Pirs docking compartment for their previous spacewalk on December 22nd and 23rd. Expose could not be properly activated at that time because of a misconfigured cable inside the service module. That experiment was returned inside, was checked out, the cabling was reconfigured to its proper configuration, and everything went as planned today. Expose-R was installed and activated, providing good telemetry for the ground controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow. The crew then pivoted another cassette container called the SKK in the Cyrillic acronym that contains other materials for exposure to the space environment that had been slightly jostled out of position. It was rotated back into the correct orientation to gather its data, its scientific information about the materials it contains on the side of the Zvezda service module. And then Fink and Lonchakov have been spending the better part of the last hour and 20 minutes collecting all of this detailed photography of the 28 targets of interest outside of Zvezda, including handrails, docking targets, coolant vents, radiator panels, and thrusters, as well as navigational antennas.
Юр, ты где?
Yuri, where are you? I am on the handrail 2624. Would like to take the pictures, including the thrusters. Okay, go ahead and take pictures.
Так, все есть. Можно идти дальше.
Yes, done. We can move on.
Хорошо, Юр, переходи. Не забудь 2615 порт.
Okay, you can translate and don't forget take pictures of the handrail to 615. Okay, we'll do.
Это 2615. Я тоже снимал насколько кадр.
615. I also will take
Ну, повторение.
several. I also took several pictures. Okay, thank you, Michael. But you know, practice makes perfect. That is true.
И у Надира есть всегда хороший ответ за этого.
Is there, and also there is a good response to that. I can't repeat that. Okay, he is here. He's hearing it all.
You stop.
Stop here.
Michael. Юра,
Yes, yes.
Michael.
Michael, Yuri,
Значит, вот здесь вот остановились.
you stop here.
Сейчас осматриваем друг друга перчатки.
Now, look at each other's gloves
Доклад нам на
and suits. Report to the ground. After that, each of you wipe your gloves. It is mandatory. And attach the towels to the handrail. My left glove is very clean, says Michael. My right one as well. There is nothing black on it. Right, and same here. Gloves are clean. Says Yuri. And look at each other. Oh, Michael, I can see you are clean. Yuri, you are handsome and clean. I can see you as well. In any event, you should wipe your gloves. All right, we will wipe them. We have everything for it. But be careful. Very careful. If the suits are clean, I would propose to secure the towels to the handrail, each towel, and just wipe your hands, your gloves. And then you will tell us where you left your towels, on which handrail. All right.
Mike Fink and Yuri Lanchikov admiring one another as they conduct a visual inspection of each other's suits, making sure their suits and gloves are clean. They're securing any towels that they're using on a handrail that they will bring back inside the Piers docking compartment. The spacewalk now 4 hours, 11 minutes in length, heading into the home stretch. The next step for the crew will be to unlatch and transfer the protective cover that was on the European material exposures experiment that has been affixed and activated on the side of the Zvezda service module. They will take a few final pictures of some of the handrails and other associated equipment near the interface between the small diameter of the Zvezda service module that you see the crew at, Fink on the left, Lanchikov on the right, before they begin to make their way up toward the Piers docking compartment to enter Piers, taking along with them that protective cover for the exposed experiment and closing the hatch to wrap up today's spacewalk.
This is my end. 2 minutes till dark. Do it this way. Careful here. Yes. Sun is bright. Yes.
Вот и тень наступает.
Полотенце мать.
It's getting dark.
23, сейчас 12, по-моему.
2312 is the handrail where I left my towel. Copy, Michael.
Да, вот есть как спиральный проволока.
It's like a spiral wire next to it. It's a way to identify that handrail. Thank you, Michael.
Переход, конечно. Окей. Хорошо, Юр. Сейчас я даю...
All right, Yuri.
Зачем? Что за это? За что?
I'll wait for you here. Wait for what? So that I will attach my towel, and my towel is next to yours.
Хорошо. Вижу переход. Ага, сейчас почистил.
Let me clean my gloves here with this towel.
Юр, ты тоже
пока ничего не видишь?
Yuri, you're doing the same, right?
Да.
Can't see much.
А поручень какой у тебя?
What is the handrail for your towel, Yuri?
Повешу.
I will just attach it to next to Michael's. Just make sure it's not in the way.
Не очень удобный.
The translation here is not very comfortable.
Сделал. Все почистил.
I am done with cleaning my gloves, says Michael, and I did not see any marks on the towel after I've done that. Copy, Michael. I think I'm done with this procedure.
Сереж. Сереж,
Sergey, do you read me? Yes?
предложение такое. Мне
I have a proposal.
поручни, конечно.
I don't like these handrails
Такой неудобно.
because the translation is not comfortable here. How about
Там оставлю его.
I will secure my towel on the right side from the hatch, because having two towels on the same handrail here will make an interference. All right.
Так, ребят, значит, мы закончили работу на большом...
All right, we are done working with the large diameter.
Сейчас договариваемся до того, что на большой диаметр мы больше не возвращаемся.
So we are not going back to the large diameter. Copy. All right.
Все, договорились. На большой
Okay, agreed.
больше не возвращается.
We are not going back to the large diameter.
Это запретная зона.
All right. This will be a keep-off area.
Если время есть, то, может быть,
And if you have time,
пофотографировать импульсы
you can probably take some more pictures of exposure and impulse. But I've done already so many shots. We'll see. We'll think about resting during this eclipse time, and turn on your lights for now, Yuri. Actually, I can see everything quite well.
На фоне земли классно. С этим.
You look great with the background of the Earth on the propulsion module. Thank you, Yuri.
Так, ты сейчас вверх идешь, да?
Yeah, going upwards, right?
А, вон он, видишь его, да? Это большая, да?
Is this one the large one?
Видно, вот отсюда видно, посмотри. Да, это большая, да.
This one is the large one. Michael?
Слушаю.
Go ahead.
Вот самое, Юр, Майкл, давайте посоветуемся. Вот
Yuri, Michael, let's talk about it.
сейчас есть добро на то, чтобы...
Right now, we give you a go to continue working in the eclipse.
Доберешься до 10-го.
When you get to the valve on plate 10,
let us know. No problem. We have good lights, and our path is illuminated. All right? Okay, Yuri, you can stay here while Michael goes over there so that you can keep him inside. I will keep him inside. I will go over there and I will attach my towel. All right, agreed. Question for you, Sergey. Says Michael, I want to verify that this cover
крышки, и крышки из FT. Ну, это как, там 4 линейки.
Well, there are 4 lines,
4, да?
Like Roman numeral 4. There should be 4 valves, separate. On one plate, 4 valves. 3 of them closed and 1 open. And the connectors are visible.
Это может быть ретрактор, да. Значит, мишень стыковки видишь, Майкл?
Do you see the target for docking, for mating? For docking, yes.
Новая мишень стыковки.
So the new docking target is right next to it. It's a striped element.
Это я видно тебе, Серега?
Can you see me, Sergey?
Видно.
Yes.
Что ты в этой зоне.
You seem to be in the right area.
Там есть большая крышка.
And there is a large cover here. Interference. There is a gap spanner going towards that plate. Can you see the gap spanner? I can see it from here, says Yuri.
Да, это он.
This is it.
Ага. Давай, попытайся его закрыть.
Try to close it. If you manage, that's good.
Сделаю несколько попыток.
If not, we'll try a few attempts and we'll leave the area.
Закроем.
We'll close it.
Закрыл. Закрыл, хорошо.
Closed. Good, Michael.
В принципе, держится.
Now make sure it is secured.
Да.
Yes.
3-4 места это с Velcro закроем.
By Velcro in 3 or 4 places.
Принято, Майкл. Ну все, можно уходить из этой зоны.
Copy. You may leave the area.
Еще раз посмотри на него.
Take another look at it and leave the area.
Вы за бортом уже 4 часа 22 минуты.
You've been outside for 4 hours and 22 minutes. Good.
Сейчас нормально. Закреплен.
Good. It is secured, closed.
While Fink and Lonchakov continue to work outside of the Russian segment of the International Space Station and the Harmony connecting module of the complex, you can see just out of the field of view, Sandy Magnus, who has been working in the U.S. segment of the complex throughout the course of the spacewalk after assisting Fink and Lonchakov earlier today during their suit-up procedures. You can see the forward hatch that leads to pressurized mating adapter number 2. That will be the docking port for Discovery on Friday afternoon, assuming it launches from the Kennedy Space Center at 8:20 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. Magnus has been working to gather equipment and packing up gear that will be returned to Earth aboard Discovery for its homecoming along with Magnus to wrap up her 4 months on the International Space Station. If Discovery does launch tomorrow night, landing would be set for mid-afternoon at the Kennedy Space Center on March 25th.
I will consult with Gennady about completion of the separation, and I will go first, and then Yuri. Michael is going to close the hatch.
All of the work now complete for Fink and Lonchakov. They have moved to the hatchway of the Pirs docking compartment, with the end of today's spacewalk now imminent. The crew is about 4 hours, 25 minutes into a spacewalk that had been forecast to last up to 5 hours and 45 minutes, but working with all due speed and on track and ahead of schedule for most of the day. Fink and Lonchakov have completed all of their work, including the trimming of a series of straps along the docking interface between the Progress resupply vehicle and the Pirs docking compartment, the installation and activation of the European Materials Exposure Experiment, the pivoting and rotation of one of the cassette containers called SKK that also contains material samples on the side of Zvezda, and about an hour and a half worth of detailed photography of many of the systems, thrusters, antennas, handrails, and vents of the Russian segment of the station, particularly on the Zvezda service module.
Ребята, у нас связь появилась.
Guys, we do have com now.
Так что хотелось бы понимать, где вы.
Взаимно, мы здесь.
So, where are you at? We're here. We are on the EV ladder.
Юр, ты полотенце куда подвязал?
Yuri, so where did you attach the towel?
Подвязывай.
I am doing it right now.
Секундочку, пожалуйста.
Stand by.
Хорошо.
Okay.
The crew in the process of gathering up towels and other tools associated with today's spacewalk. The towels used to wipe down their suits just a few minutes ago as they conducted a final inspection before moving back toward the Piers docking compartment hatchway. This view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov, outside of Moscow.
Musste heute kurzzeitig evakuiert werden. Grund war ein möglicher Zusammenprall mit herumfliegendem Weltraummüll, gab die NASA bekannt. Für 10 Minuten stiegen die 3 Astronauten in die für solche Notfälle vorgesehene Soyuz-Kapsel um. Nachdem die Reste eines ausgedehnten Satelliten vorbeigeflogen waren, kehrten sie in die ISS zurück.
This is the sound of the ocean screaming. It haunts Masaki Hataya, who watches the waves grow year after year. What was solid ice just a decade ago is now water. This sounds nice, he says, but it's a bad sign. Hataya is an ice guide, walking visitors through a spectacular landscape of Arctic ice that every winter flows down to northern Japan. But it's a landscape that is progressively losing ground. Hataya says the ice is thinning. And there's more and more warm water underneath. Hataya says he's witnessing rapid global warming. Captain Chikara Iwata echoes those concerns. Iwata operates ice-cutting boat that takes tourists into the heart of the Arctic ice drift. It takes longer to get there every year. What they're seeing more and more in this part of Hokkaido is water, not ice. They're having to go further out just to catch a glimpse of something they could usually see from the shore. But once there, the view is breathtaking for these tourists packed onto this icebreaker. So grand? So grand, says this tourist. I hope my grandchildren will see it one day. Captain Iwata doesn't believe they will. It's disappointing, says Iwata. The ice is decreasing. The air pressure is different. The temperature is up. Iwata says the ice is drifting away from shore. It may soon disappear altogether, say leading scientists who call this a sea ice retreat.
It could hit us within the next, let's say, 2 to 2.5 decades. To the best of my knowledge and my judgment is that there is very little that we can do. We would have to do something extremely dramatic, and even then, the question is if we could turn that around in time before it disappears. The question to me is more, can we regrow it once it disappears?
2 degrees. Locals hope to turn back time by turning down the thermometer and reducing carbon emissions. Hotel owner Shigeyuki Kawajima organized nearly every single business in the area to turn down heaters. Use hot water bottles for heat filled with natural hot spring water. And save the cooking oil in these giant bins that will run city buses in the summer. Small steps, says Kawajima, but scientists say we saved the equivalent of 21 tennis courts of ice last year. But our experience the next morning was different. The temperatures warmer but still frigid. The ice had drifted further away. Masaki Hataya says, like the ice, his future as an ice guide is unstable. But what worries him more is what this change means for his life as a human on this planet. Kyung La, CNN, Hokkaido, Japan.
2, 1, and booster ignition liftoff.
Countdown at dusk, the Space Shuttle Discovery blasts off on its mission to the International Space Station. And for more, I'm joined from Miami by our correspondent, Andy Gallagher. What essentially is the mission of the shuttle here? Why do they need these extra electrical panels, Andy?
Well, they want to give the International Space Station more power because it's already been given more compartments. Because ultimately they want to double the crew up there from 3 to 6, something they plan to do by the end of May. Once these solar panels have been installed in one of 3 spacewalks planned over the next 13 days, that will enable an expansion, a further expansion of the International Space Station. They'll also be dropping off a Japanese astronaut who will be inside that Kibo laboratory that was taken up last year by the shuttle from here in Cape Canaveral in Florida. So it was a vital mission for NASA. It was a month behind schedule for technical problems. Various dangerous leaks, as NASA managers described them. But tonight, it was really a perfect launch. The weather was amazing. The shuttle took off just after sunset in a spectacular blast-off from Cape Canaveral here in Florida. And then over the next 13 days, the aim of the whole shuttle mission is really to install these extra solar panels and keep on maintaining and expanding that International Space Station. Because remember, there are only now 8 launches left before these last 3 orbiters that make up the shuttle fleet are finally retired in 2010.
Indeed, we must marvel at these launches while they last because of the retirement of the fleet. But then, I mean, after that, how is the space station going to be serviced?
Well, the space station, really the responsibility will then lay with the Russians and their Soyuz craft. There's actually one of their rockets being launched later on this month to the International Space Station. So really the entire responsibility for maintaining the International Space Station will fall on the Russians, because once the shuttle fleet is retired from Cape Canaveral here in Florida, there are really no plans for a replacement for a good few years. So not only will 6,000 people lose their jobs here in Florida, but there are no immediate plans to get something else off the ground. There will be a gap of a few years. So it really is a kind of rush to get the International Space Station as completed as possible, because remember, the shuttle can carry those huge cargo loads like the solar panel arrays now and the Kibo laboratory last year. So 8 launches left. It retires next year, so it really will be the end of an era.
Andy Gallagher, thanks very much indeed.
Nach 5 Wochen auf der Startrampe hebt die Discovery endlich ab in den Nachthimmel. Oft werden wir dieses Bild nicht mehr sehen, denn die Tage des Space Shuttles sind gezählt. Wenn alles gut geht, werden sie noch 8 Mal fliegen. 2010 geht die Ära der Raumfähren dann unwiderruflich zu Ende. Auf der ISS beginnt jetzt eine arbeitsreiche Woche. Die Discovery bringt den 4. und letzten Satz Sonnensegel. Das bedeutet 25% mehr Strom für die Forschung an Bord und für die doppelte Zahl von Astronauten. Ab Mai sollen 6 Menschen auf der Station leben. Die ISS ist dann voll funktionsfähig.
Einer der letzten Stücke, die noch im Weltraum gestartet werden, ist die Cupola. Eine Kuppel mit 7 Fenstern, ist von den Italienern in Turin gebaut worden und bietet dann einen vollen Ausblick in den Weltraum hinaus.
Wenn die Raumstation fertig ist, will die NASA ihre Shuttles stilllegen. Sie sind nicht mehr zukunftsfähig, zu sensibel, zu wartungsintensiv, zu teuer. Die NASA braucht das Geld, das die Shuttleflotte verschlingt, für neue, ehrgeizige Ziele. Mond und Mars stehen auf der Agenda. In dieser Halle wurden an die 130 Shuttleflüge vorbereitet. Jetzt wird sie für die neue Raketengeneration umgerüstet.
Wir brauchen also diese ganzen Start- und Montageanlagen nicht wieder neu zu bauen, und dadurch spart man natürlich enorm viel Zeit und Geld.
Schon Mitte dieses Jahres soll der erste Testflug sein. Aber bis die neuen Ares-Raketen wirklich bemannt fliegen können, werden noch mindestens 5 Jahre vergehen. Bis dahin sind die Amerikaner ganz auf die Russen angewiesen und auf ihre altbewährten Soyuz-Kapseln. Nach dem Columbia-Absturz waren wir schon einmal ganz auf die Soyuz angewiesen. Wir haben gezeigt, dass wir gut mit den Russen zusammenarbeiten können. Oben im All müssen sie erst einmal ein anderes Problem lösen. Morgen früh kommt schon wieder ein Stück Weltraumschrott gefährlich nah. Wenn die Raumstation Ausweichmanöver fliegen muss, dann könnte sich auch das Andocken der Discovery verzögern.
Europäischen Satelliten. Der hat heute seine lange Reise angetreten mit dem Auftrag, die Erde so exakt zu vermessen wie noch nie zuvor.
Auf ihm ruhen die Hoffnungen der europäischen Raumfahrt. Der Forschungssatellit Goce ist am Nachmittag in Russland ins All gestartet. Erleichterung im ESA-Kontrollraum in Darmstadt. Deutsche Wissenschaftler haben die Mission zur Vermessung der Erde jahrelang vorbereitet.
Für uns ist es, als wenn man ein Fenster aufstößt und im Grunde Dinge sieht, die man bisher nicht sehen konnte.
Der über 200 Millionen Euro teure Satellit soll das Schwerefeld der Erde exakt vermessen, denn die Gravitation beeinflusst viele Prozesse im Erdinneren und an der Oberfläche. Um Vulkanausbrüche oder Erdbeben besser vorhersagen zu können, sammelt Goce zahlreiche Daten, aus denen die Wissenschaft neue Erkenntnisse gewinnt.
Wir erwarten uns deswegen wesentlich genauere Vorstellungen darüber, welche Kräfteverteilungen eigentlich bei tektonischen Problemen, zum Beispiel bei Erdbeben, wirklich wichtig sind.
Goce soll außerdem die Höhe des Meeresspiegels messen, bis auf 1 Zentimeter genau. Anhand dieser Daten können Wissenschaftler dann berechnen, um wie viel das Meeresniveau aufgrund der Klimaerwärmung ansteigt. Wichtige Forschung für Gebiete, die von Überflutung bedroht sind.
Dafür absolut wirklich diese Präzision zu haben, zu wissen, wie die Form des Meeresspiegels ist und sich dann auch mit der Zeit ändert, das ist absolut wichtig für Küstenschutz, für Küstenbewohner.
Mit Goce will die europäische Raumfahrt neue Maßstäbe setzen und in der Vermessung der Erde an den Amerikanern vorbeiziehen.
versprochen, gestern nur 7 Sekunden vor dem Abheben. Heute nun gelang es der Europäischen Raumfahrtbehörde, den Satelliten Goce ins All zu schicken. In nur 285 Kilometern Höhe soll er künftig um die Erde kreisen. Die Wissenschaftler erhoffen sich neue Erkenntnisse über den Klimawandel.
Pünktlich um 15:21 Uhr hob die Trägerrakete vom russischen Weltraumbahnhof Blesetsk ab. An Bord Goce, der neueste europäische Erdbeobachtungssatellit. Goce wird die Erde in einer Höhe von 285 Kilometern umkreisen, Geschwindigkeit unvorstellbarer 8 Kilometer pro Sekunde. Erleichterung bei den zahlreichen Beobachtern im Europäischen Raumfahrtkontrollzentrum der ESA in Darmstadt. Goce misst die Schwerkraft der Erde und die Dynamik der Ozeane. Wichtige Daten für den Klimawandel.
Die Dynamik der Ozeane hat einen direkten Einfluss auf die Atmosphäre, auf die Eiskappen und natürlich alles hängt zusammen mit dem Klimawandel.
20 Monate soll Goce die Erde umkreisen, gesteuert aus Darmstadt. So spektakulär der Raketenstart war, für die Wissenschaftler kam der spannendste Moment erst, als sie den Satelliten im Weltraum aufgespürt hatten.
Für uns war nicht der Start das Spannendste, sondern die ersten Signale, das Moment, wo die ersten Signale von Satelliten kommen. Das sind 1,5 Stunden später. Und da fängt wirklich unsere Arbeit an.
Es sind schon Satelliten beim Start verloren gegangen. 100 Menschen sind in Darmstadt mit Goce beschäftigt. Kosten rund 300 Millionen Euro.
Und nun docking of the Space Shuttle Discovery with the International Space Station. You've got them coming together there. Steve just told me that they're about, what was it, Steve? 50 feet, 30 feet out, 30 feet out. We're inside, I don't know, 5-7 minutes or so from actual docking. Unbelievable to get these sorts of pictures from outer space. Really think about that. Now also, we're going to have a really unique take when we come back on the turmoil in Madagascar. You know, that's not to be missed, but, you know, check this out as we go to break. Space Station, Space Shuttle Discovery coming in on Router 9, the NASA feed coming to us live. They have initiated final approach, if you like. Docking process is underway. And there you go, live pictures from outer space. That's amazing. By the way, they're bringing materials, including a replacement unit, a urine-to-water recycling system. Everyone should have one of those. Additional solar arrays. They're going to double the station's crew capacity from 3 to 6. They are, what did you say, Steve? How far? 18 feet out. That's what you got this in your ear for. Is complete, is that right? Am I hearing in my ear? The docking is complete. The Space Shuttle Discovery is docked now with the International Space Station. It's a pretty important trip, this one. They were taking up a lot of stuff to the space station that was crucially needed. The solar stuff in particular. Also more crew, which you're going to need if you're going to run an International Space Station. All right, so we also want, we're going to keep an eye on that for you too, but we also want you to know a lot more about this.
Well, with the world awash in red ink, what better time to wear green and to celebrate St. Patrick's Day? New York City held its annual St. Patrick's Day parade on Tuesday. And in case you're counting, this is number 248. Organizers say 200,000 people took part in the parade, and at least as many lined the streets to watch them pass. St. Patrick's Day was a day originally meant to honor Ireland's patron saint, but it's morphed into a way to act Irish for the day. And the White House joined in. At the First Lady's request, fountains on the north and south lawns were dyed green, much like they do to the river in her hometown of Chicago. Meanwhile, inside, U.S. President Barack Obama welcomed Ireland's Prime Minister Brian Cohen. Mr. Cohen presented the president with a bowl of shamrocks.
Sieht aus wie ein Pfeil, aber er heißt wie Tropfen auf Italienisch. Goce, der neue europäische Forschungssatellit, der heute im 3. Anlauf endlich den Weg in den Orbit geschafft hat. Ein Prestigeprojekt der ESA, das Wissenschaftler als neuen Meilenstein feiern, als Ferrari unter den Satelliten. Schließlich soll Goce wichtige Geheimnisse über unseren Planeten lüften. Zum Klimawandel oder zur Schwerkraft. Wie die Erde dafür neu vermessen wird, das erklärt Mira Bartelmann.
Um 15:21 Uhr hieß es endlich Go für Goce. Der europäische Forschungssatellit huckepack auf einer russischen Trägerrakete auf dem Weg zu seiner Position im All, 270 Kilometer über der Erde. Von dort vermisst der Satellit das Schwerefeld unseres Planeten mit bislang unerreichter Detailgenauigkeit. Denn die Erdanziehung ist nicht überall gleich, so viel weiß man jetzt schon. Dieses stark überzeichnete Modell mit seinen Beulen und Vertiefungen gibt einen Vorgeschmack, wofür Goce jetzt messbare Beweise liefern wird. Denn geologisch bedingte Veränderungen wie Vulkanausbrüche oder sich übereinanderschiebende Kontinentalplatten, die Tsunamis auslösen können, verändern das Erdanziehungsfeld. Und diese kleinen Veränderungen haben maßgeblichen Einfluss auf den Klimawandel, der noch lange nicht vollständig erforscht und verstanden ist. So erhoffen sich beispielsweise Ozeanologen von der Mission Aufschluss über die Strömungsbedingungen innerhalb der Weltmeere.
Die Veränderungen des Golfstroms, das ist für Klimaforschung ein äußerst kritisches und zentrales Problem. Die Massenvariation in den Ozeanen, wie viel Wasser wird transportiert, wie viel Temperatur wird transportiert und wie verändert sich der Meeresspiegel.
Bislang ist man übrigens in beinahe jedem Land von einem anderen Meeresspiegel als Nullniveau ausgegangen. Das brachte bei staatenübergreifenden Bauprojekten schon so manches Problem mit sich. Denn gingen Brückenbauer von einem falschen Bodenniveau des Nachbarlandes aus, ragte die Konstruktion in die Luft, statt an der entsprechenden Straße anzuschließen. Diese Fehlerquellen wird Goce mit seinem globalen Referenzsystem ein für alle Mal beheben. In 20 Monaten ist die Mission beendet. Dann stehen die Satellitendaten allen Wissenschaftlern, die ein begründetes Forschungsanliegen nachweisen können, kostenlos zur Verfügung, um das Geheimnis unseres blauen Planeten ein Stück weiter zu lüften.
Fähre Discovery hat an der internationalen Raumstation ISS angedockt. Die Besatzung brachte unter anderem Teile einer Solarenergieanlage zur ISS. Während des 13-tägigen Aufenthaltes im All sollen die Astronauten die letzten Sonnensegel an der Raumstation installieren. Damit soll die Energieversorgung verbessert werden.
Im Meeresgrund ist dort in der Tiefe ein Vulkan ausgebrochen. Er liegt in der Nähe einer Insel, die zum Staat Tonga gehört. Die Bewohner sind aber nicht gefährdet, sagen die Behörden. Tonga liegt im sogenannten Pazifischen Feuerring. Das ist eine Region im Ozean, in der viele Vulkane aktiv sind.
Hello and welcome. He's wowed the world and won over the American public. Now Barack Obama's out to woo Iran. In a video message direct to the Iranian people, President Obama spoke of a new beginning in relations between Washington and Tehran, highly symbolic. His message was released, in fact, on the first day of Iran's spring holiday, Nowruz, and was swiftly welcomed by leaders in France, Russia and the European Union. And as if to underline that he isn't losing his touch with the media, Barack Obama also slipped into a chat show studio, sparring with host Jay Leno about everything from the financial crisis to being in the Washington Goldfish Bowl. Here's Mike Waldridge.
A tale of two presidential appearances for two very different audiences.
I would like to speak clearly to Iran's leaders. We have serious differences that have grown over time. My administration is now committed to diplomacy that addresses the full range of issues before us and to pursuing constructive ties among the United States, Iran, and the international community. This process will not be advanced by threats. We seek instead engagement that is honest and grounded in mutual respect.
On the Iranian New Year, Barack Obama's call for a new beginning after nearly 3 decades of broken and often tense relations. The care in the choice of language evident. The challenge of healing the rift not underplayed, but innovative video diplomacy underlining the change from President Bush, placing Iran in his axis of evil, very much aimed at Iranian public opinion as well as the country's leaders.
It was a great move by the president after this long term of strained relations between the two countries.
This is an old wound, and it takes a long time to be cured. The dispute between Iran and America cannot be easily settled.
The Iranian president's press advisor said the American administration has to recognize its past mistakes and repair them as a way to put away the differences. He has to go further than words and take action. If Obama shows willingness to take action, he said, the Iranian government will not show its back to him. Mr. Obama heading to a Los Angeles television studio for another first. Jay Leno is used to having celebrities of many kinds on NBC's Tonight Show. Never before has a serving US president appeared on the show, obviously at ease.
I see the fairground where I think we're having this town hall. I said, well, why don't we walk over there? Secret Service says, no, sir, it's 750 yards. So I was trying to calculate. Well, that's like a 5-minute walk. Yes, sir. Sorry. And now they let me walk on the way back. Oh. But, you know, the doctor's behind me with the defibrillator. Wow.
There was a serious agenda here. Barack Obama wants to keep the public behind his efforts to tackle the economic crisis and said he was stunned by the huge bonuses the bailed-out insurance firm AIG paid its staff.
We've got to get back to an attitude where people know enough is enough, and people have a sense of responsibility, and they understand that their actions are going to have an impact on everybody.
It's been one of the best nights of my life. Thank you very much, sir. The President of the United States.
Barack Obama going over the heads of the politicians to the people, at home and abroad, 60 days into the job. Mike Wooldridge, BBC News.
Die Eiszeit zwischen den USA und dem Iran könnte nach 3 Jahrzehnten zu Ende gehen. US-Präsident Obama hat in einer Videobotschaft zum persischen Neujahrsfest angeboten, die Beziehungen der beiden Staaten auf eine neue Grundlage zu stellen. Im Iran wurde das Versöhnungssignal aus Washington verhalten positiv aufgenommen.
Die Iraner schenken sich Blumen zum Neujahrsfest und ein Strauß voller Überraschungen kam aus den USA per Videobotschaft. Präsident Obama schob alle bisherigen Vorbedingungen für Gespräche zwischen Washington und Teheran beiseite. Er bot eine neue Politik der Entspannung auf der Grundlage wechselseitigen Respekts an. Keine Drohungen mehr, die USA reichen dem früheren Erzfeind in Teheran die Hand. Für ihn in Teheran ist das schönste Neujahrsgeschenk. Frieden mit Amerika, das wünschen wir uns doch alle. Präsident Ahmadinejad sprach von hoffnungsvollen Tönen, denen allerdings auch Taten folgen müssten. Wenn die US-Regierung ihre Fehler eingestehe und zu weiteren Schritten bereit sei, dann werde Iran Obama und seiner neuen Politik nicht den Rücken zuwenden. Sanktionen, wie sie die USA erst kürzlich verlängerten, seien aber der falsche Weg. Also keine Peitsche mehr, nur noch Zuckerbrot. Das ist Irans Bedingung für einen Kurswechsel. Auch auf dem EU-Gipfel in Brüssel wurde das Signal aus den USA positiv aufgenommen.
Ich glaube, dass die Botschaft von Präsident Obama genau das reflektiert, was auch die Europäer immer gewollt haben, dass ein Angebot an den Iran gemacht wird und dass hoffentlich, so kann ich nur sagen, auch genutzt wird.
Die neue Botschaft ist überall in Iran angekommen. Traditionell fahren alle weg zu Neujahr und alle haben jetzt ein neues, aktuelles Diskussionsthema.
Vor der iranischen Küste ist ein amerikanisches Atom-U-Boot verunglückt. Es stieß in der Straße von Hormuz mit einem anderen Schiff der US-Marine zusammen. Nach Militärangaben blieb der Atomantrieb unbeschädigt, 15 Matrosen wurden leicht verletzt. Der Schiffsverkehr in der Meerenge wurde nicht gestört. Durch die Straße von Hormuz werden etwa 20% der weltweiten Ölförderung verschifft.
Oktober 2004. Spaceship One schreibt Geschichte. Als erstes privates Fluggerät erreicht es mehr als 100 Kilometer Höhe und sichert seinen Sponsoren damit ein Preisgeld von $10 Millionen. Ein Flugzeug im Weltraum, das gab es schon einmal, vor 50 Jahren. 1959 beginnt die NASA Testflüge mit dem Raketenflugzeug X-15. Zum Start braucht die Höllenmaschine Hilfe. Ein B-52-Bomber bringt die X-15 auf eine Höhe von 12.000 Metern. Die Technik des Raketenflugzeugs stammt aus Hitlers Reich. Der sogenannte Silbervogel soll Bomben auf Amerika werfen. Ein Prototyp wird in der Lüneburger Heide getestet. Nach dem Krieg wandern Blaupausen und Personal an Amerikas Westküste.
Am Anfang ging es nur darum, mit einem Flugzeug immer höher und schneller zu fliegen. Aber irgendwann kam die Idee auf, dass man damit auch ins All kommen könnte.
Ein neues Kapitel der Raumfahrt ohne die kostspieligen Riesenraketen? Nur 5 Tonnen wiegt die X-15, weitere 10 Tonnen führt sie an Treibstoff mit. Ein Leichtgewicht verglichen mit den fast 3000 Tonnen einer Saturn-V-Rakete. Die X-15 erreicht 6-fache Schallgeschwindigkeit, 1,6 Kilometer pro Sekunde. Nach dem Ausklinken brennt das Triebwerk nur 90 Sekunden lang. Das reicht, um die X-15 bis in den Weltraum zu schießen. Die medizinischen Werte des Piloten werden lückenlos überwacht. Die Bodenstation misst dabei Pulsfrequenzen von bis zu 190 Schlägen pro Minute. Sobald der Tank leer ist, rast die Maschine vom Weltraum zurück zur Erde und landet auf einem Salzsee in Südkalifornien.
Das war schon ein tolles Gefühl. Du rast über die Landebahn und denkst, was für ein Höllenritt. Du bist völlig verschwitzt und total entspannt. Einfach weil du am Boden bist und nichts falsch gemacht hast. Und weil du einfach nur erschöpft bist.
15. November 1967. Michael Adams kurz vor dem 191. Flug des X-15-Programms. Adams zählt zu den besten Piloten der Welt und die Tücken der X-15 sind nach jahrelangen Tests behoben oder zumindest bekannt. Der Start verläuft völlig normal. Michael Adams steigt auf 88 Kilometer Höhe, erlebt für kurze Zeit die Schwerelosigkeit. Was weder Pilot noch Kontrollraum wissen, ein Kurzschluss hat die Elektronik der X-15 durcheinandergebracht. Die Instrumente zeigen nicht die tatsächliche Lage des Flugzeugs an. Adams kommt vom Kurs ab. Seine X-15 gerät ins Trudeln bei 5-facher Schallgeschwindigkeit. Beim Wiedereintritt in die Atmosphäre ist die Maschine außer Kontrolle. Winkel und Tempo sind nicht mehr im berechneten Fenster. Die X-15 bricht auseinander. Michael Adams ist sofort tot.
Bei diesem 191. Flug gab es eine ganze Reihe kleiner technischer Fehler und Beschädigungen. Dazu kam, dass der Pilot einen Moment lang orientierungslos war. Er flog nicht geradeaus, sondern seitlich verdreht.
Die Untersuchungskommission kommt zu einem alarmierenden Ergebnis. Adams hätte den Kurzschluss im Weltraum wahrscheinlich überlebt, wenn ihn die fehlerhaften Instrumente nicht irritiert hätten. Die Konsequenz aus dem tödlichen Unfall sind zusätzliche Überwachungssysteme. Für alle Astronauten werden strenge Gleichgewichtstests zur Pflicht. Ein Jahr später wird das X-15-Programm eingestellt.
Die X-15 leistete trotz allem einen bedeutsamen Beitrag. Sie zeigte, dass man ein Flugzeug aus dem Weltraum zurückfliegen kann. Das überhaupt zu wagen, das hat mehr als alles andere den Bau des Space Shuttle begünstigt.
Für Michael Adams errichten NASA-Angehörige einen Gedenkstein nahe der Absturzstelle. Nach amerikanischer Definition beginnt der Weltraum in einer Höhe von 50 Meilen. Das sind 80 Kilometer. Demnach wäre Adams einer von 8 X-15-Piloten, die im Weltraum waren. Pioniere einer neuen Ära der bemannten Raumfahrt. Das Space Shuttle nutzt viele Ergebnisse des X-15-Programms. Es startet zwar wie eine Rakete, aber landet wie ein Flugzeug, wie die X-15.
Unser nächster Fall. Ein Land, das schon im Mittelalter Raketen baute und jetzt selbst nach den Sternen greift. China.
15. Februar 96, vor dem Morgengrauen. Am chinesischen Weltraumbahnhof Xichang soll ein Satellit ins All geschossen werden. Wie alle chinesischen Raketen trägt auch das Modell 3B den stolzen Namen Langer Marsch, getauft in Erinnerung an Maos kommunistische Revolution. Doch dieser lange Marsch ist schon beim Start zu Ende.
Als Raketenbauer denkt man, wenn man das sieht, warum drücken die nicht auf den Knopf und aktivieren die Selbstzerstörung? Raketen haben sowas zur Sicherheit, um sie zu sprengen, sobald sie vom Kurs abkommen. Aber das passierte hier nicht.
Nach einem Flug von 22 Sekunden schlägt die Rakete am Boden ein, mit 300 Tonnen Treibstoff. Die Explosion erschüttert die gesamte Gegend und das Vertrauen in chinesische Technik. Ist es das Ende seines Traums? Mein Wille war schon immer, die Wolken zu erreichen, dichtet Mao Zedong. In den 50er Jahren beschließt der rote Diktator ein eigenes Raumfahrtprogramm für die Volksrepublik. Doch die Kulturrevolution bremst die Forschung. Chinas Raketen transportieren Hunde, aber nicht bis ins All. 1970 dann die erste Mission mit dem Namen Langer Marsch, ein Propagandaauftrag. Während andere schon Fernsehsatelliten ins All schießen, kann Chinas erster Erdtrabant nur ein Lied senden. Der Osten ist rot. Doch das reicht erstmal fürs Selbstbewusstsein.
Eine solche Mission bringt natürlich Anerkennung im Ausland, Respekt vor der technischen Leistung. Und dem eigenen Volk soll es zeigen, dass das Regime den Segen des Himmels hat.
Der Sprung ans Firmament ist ein Kraftakt für das Reich der Mitte. Vor allem die bäuerliche Bevölkerung leidet unter Misswirtschaft und Armut. Aber China will Großmacht sein, auch am Himmel. Die kommerzielle Raumfahrt öffnet neue Möglichkeiten. Im gebirgigen Südwesten des Riesenreichs baut der Staat ein neues Raumfahrtzentrum, das dritte, die Satellitenbasis von Xichang. Die Felder der Bauern reichen hier bis an die Basis heran. Anderswo stehen Weltraumbahnhöfe einsam in der Wüste oder am Meer. In China scheint die Sicherheit der Bevölkerung bei den Planungen keine große Rolle zu spielen. Mitte der 90er Jahre ist der neue Typ Langer Marsch 3B einsatzbereit. Er soll mit Kampfpreisen den Markt der kommerziellen Satelliten erobern. Den Jungfernflug haben Amerikaner für einen Fernsehsatelliten gebucht. Aber die Trägheitsplattform im Kopf der Rakete ist defekt, ein Herstellungsfehler. Ohne ihre Daten versagt das Lenksystem. Der 15. Februar 1996. Auf den Monitoren verfolgen die Wissenschaftler das Unglück. Ohnmächtig müssen sie zusehen, wie ihre Rakete auf besiedeltes Gebiet zurast. Bilder, die die Öffentlichkeit damals nicht zu sehen bekommt. Das Staatsfernsehen hat die Übertragung abgebrochen.
Die Rakete hat beim Aufschlag furchtbare Schäden angerichtet. Soweit man blicken konnte, war alles mit Trümmerteilen bedeckt, Meter hoch. Da war alles zerstört.
Ein Dorf im Kreis Mianning in der Nähe des Weltraumbahnhofs. Aufnahmen eines westlichen Ingenieurs am Tag danach. Offizielle Stellen sprechen von 6 Toten. Man habe die Gegend vorher evakuiert. Westliche Experten schätzen, die Zahl der Opfer könne mehr als 100 betragen. 7 Jahre später gelingt der ersehnte nächste große Schritt. Yang Li-Wei umkreist als erster Chinese die Erde. Geplant ist auch ein langer Marsch zum Mars, ein neuer Wettlauf.
Wenn Leute zum Mars fliegen, dann würde ich mir wünschen, ich erlebe es nicht, dass das eben eine Vertretung der Menschheit ist und nicht ein Projekt, wo schon wieder die Chinesen eventuell sagen, wir machen den ersten, oder die, weiß ich nicht, die Amerikaner oder die Russen oder was auch noch immer. Es wäre Zeit, dass die Menschheit auch als Menschheit auftritt.
Peking hat eine eigene Mondlandung angekündigt, wenn alles glatt läuft, ohne weitere Unglücke, für das Jahr 2024.